December 1941. America had entered World War II, but most civilians believed the fighting was far away, in Europe, in the Pacific, somewhere beyond the horizon. That illusion lasted less than 3 weeks. According to operational reports preserved at the U.S. National Archives and the Naval History and Heritage Command, German submarines were already moving toward the American coastline before the smoke had cleared over Pearl Harbor. In January 1942, the German Navy launched Operation Paukenschlag, drumbeat. Its objective was simple: sink as many ships as possible, as close to the United States as possible, before America could react. Within days, German U-boats were operating off Florida, the Carolinas, and the Gulf of Mexico. And almost no one on shore knew they were there. U.S. Navy after-action reports from early 1942 describe a staggering vulnerability. There were not enough patrol aircraft, not enough escorts, not enough radar-equipped ships. Most critically, there was no coastal blackout. According to the U.S. Naval War College's post-war analysis, American cities kept their lights on at night. Hotels, boardwalks, factories, even car headlights along the shore. From the perspective of a German submarine commander, the U.S. coast was a shooting gallery. Tankers and cargo ships passed in silhouette, perfectly outlined against illuminated skylines. U-boat logs captured after the war confirmed that many attacks required no periscope at all. Targets were visible with the naked eye. Between January and July 1942, German submarines sank over 350 Allied ships in American coastal waters. This figure comes from consolidated loss records held by the National Archives and verified by British Admiralty intelligence summaries. Oil slicks washed onto beaches. Wreckage drifted ashore. In Florida and North Carolina, civilians stood on sand dunes at night and watched ships burn just offshore. Newspapers rarely reported the sinkings in detail. According to wartime censorship directives archived by the Office of War Information, officials feared that public knowledge would aid the enemy and damage morale. But sailors knew, and German commanders knew even more. Captured German naval records, translated after the war, revealed how stunned U-boat commanders were by the lack of American defenses. One commander wrote that it felt like the early days off Britain, but easier. Another noted that American ships sailed alone, without escorts, following predictable routes. No convoy discipline, minimal air patrols, poor coordination between Navy, Coast Guard, and Army Air Forces. The U-boats did not need advanced tactics, they simply waited. By mid-1942, the losses became impossible to ignore. According to the Naval History and Heritage Command, the United States implemented emergency reforms. Mandatory coastal blackouts, convoy systems along the East Coast, rapid deployment of patrol aircraft, integration of British anti-submarine tactics, expanded use of sonar and radar. These measures were not revolutionary, they were overdue. Once implemented, sinkings dropped sharply. By late 1942, Operation Drumbeat had failed. German submarines were pushed back into the Atlantic, but the lesson was brutal. Post-war analysis by the U.S. Naval War College concluded that America's greatest vulnerability was not technology, but complacency. The Atlantic had always been a battlefield. America simply refused to see it. The U-boats did not defeat the United States Navy, they exposed it. And the cost of that lesson was paid in burning ships, lost crews, and thousands of lives within sight of home. This story is drawn from official U.S. Navy archives, declassified intelligence reports, and post-war operational studies. Because history doesn't repeat itself, but it does punish those who ignore it.